Where is my mind? How come I can't remember? I feel so weary, like I've been on a long journey. When will I remember? Again. Maybe in this next city someone will know me. Maybe.
Lunacy, also known as Toriko in Japan, was released in the summer of 1997 and published by Atlas in North America. It would most likely be known today as the rarest North American Saturn game if it weren't for Daytona USA CCE NetLink Edition. While it may not be as expensive as that game, it most certainly is one of the rarest and hardest to find Saturn games out there. It typically shows up on eBay about once every 3 to 4 years, if that, and almost no one has ever seen a copy of this bad boy in the wild. Finding a copy is something to be exceedingly proud of, and good news for all you Saturn collectors out there. It just so happens to be a very interesting game as well. Lunacy is an adventure FMV game. Think of it like this. You move from one screen to the next, potentially activating a cinematic, and then move on to the next. There are some complex puzzles, and just figuring out what to do next can be rather difficult. Ultimately though, you're here for a technology showpiece and some solid voice acting alongside a very interesting storyline and some of the best music this genre has ever put out. You take on the role of Fred. Yes, that's a very average name for a video game protagonist, but anyways, you wake up in the jail of Misty Town with no recollection of who you are or where you come from. I know, another story where a dude has amnesia, but bear with me for a few minutes. In his cell, Fred meets Anthony, who tells him about the legend of the City of Moons, a strange and mystical place where one's dreams come true. Rumor has it that the entrance for the City of Moons is somewhere in Misty Town. Once Fred escapes, with the help of Anthony of course, he's off on a journey to figure out how to get into this mysterious city and to piece together as much as he can about his own unique and mysterious past. Along the way, he meets up with a wide assortment of characters, the evil Lord Gordon and his henchman Jade, among many other very interesting characters. And while the characters have the tamest names ever, the story is what will keep you playing, trying to unravel one more mystery. I like to describe the game as a Myst-like adventure game designed from the ground up for the SEGA Saturn. While you're not watching an FMV movie, the game takes place in first-person view. You can move along the path of your choosing, pick up items, solve puzzles, and push the story further. It's incredibly simplistic, yet deep enough to warrant a playthrough. There are about 60 or so different locations in the game, each becoming more and more unique, eerie, and bizarre the further you progress. That's one of the things I like the most about this game actually, is just how out there some of the settings become the later on in the game you get. The game is also breathtaking at times, and the attention to detail in the environments is exceptional for a game of this age. There are also next to no load times in the 2-disc adventure, which I find to be extremely surprising, again considering when this game was originally released. The audio in particular needs to be singled out as the soundtrack is absolutely incredible. Hideo Suzuki and Naoaki Jimbo did a superb job as each newly introduced melody fits not only the scene but the context perfectly. Honestly, the music is just amazing. The voice acting isn't bad either, especially considering this was before Metal Gear Solid changed the way we perceive voice acting in video games. It's a little emotionless at times, and the translation work could have used some refining, but overall it's quite well done. The adventure FMV genre doesn't have many entries, but this one is one of the strongest out there. Coupled with D and Enemy Zero, the Saturn really has some of the best titles in this genre. I'll get to those titles in the future, but for now, if you can find a copy of Lunacy, do yourself a favor and pick it up. The story and music alone are well worth snagging a copy for. Yes, it's light on gameplay, but sometimes the journey is worth the experience.
I didn't ask your name yet.
Fred, I'm a traveler.
Why don't you come around to my house later and we'll talk? Okay?
Okay.
All right. See you later. Thanks for the flower, Fred.